Applebee's 2 for $20. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Life is for living. And at First International Bank and Trust, we're all about living, helping your dreams come true. Because we're not just in the banking business. We're in the first home business, the community sponsorship business, the how do I make this happen business, making your banking life easy so you can focus on what matters most. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
A family farm is, well, different. The cab of a tractor is the CEO's office. Board meetings are held on the bed of Grandpa's pickup. And a conference call is a holler across the yard to hurry your chores, kids. There's homework to be done. A family farm is about family pride as much as profit. Farmers Union Insurance believes this way of life is worth protecting. Because this isn't just where we work, it's also our family's home. Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Toro's All Access. Are we?
We're not plugged in. I can hear you.
You can hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Well, welcome into another episode of Toro's All Access. I'm Ken Oda. Paige Schultz alongside. We'll get to our guest here in a few moments. But first, last weekend of the regular season, a lot of big stuff going on. First, it's Fan Appreciation Weekend. A lot going on with that. $3 beer specials all weekend long. Saturday, we'll have 2,000 team picture posters thanks to our friends at the Sports Shack. We'll also have 1,500 Pride Dairy ice cream sandwiches for the first 1,500 fans through the door. And then after the game on Saturday, Skate with the Toros. A chance to get those posters signed. Also, we'll have the jersey auction, the end-of-season jersey auction that used to take place on the ice. For the first time, we've moved that over to Dash. Paige, you built that today. So
yes,
a lot going on with that. 49 game-worn jerseys up for bid. All of the Magic City jerseys, which, as much as we've loved them, will be retiring after this year. So last chance to get your hands on one of the Magic City jerseys. Plus all the jerseys from the age-outs and the college-bound players. So yeah, Paige, you haven't been here for a long time yet, but I'm sure just from your travels around the hockey world, it's a pretty special fan base we have here in Minot.
it's insane. I've never seen a fan base like how it is here.
So no better time to show our love for you guys and hopefully have a full building. We're already pushing, I think, 1,900 tickets for Friday night already claimed. So if you're looking to come to the games, get your tickets now, tickets.minotauroshockey.com. Go out and get those tickets because it will be a fun weekend and hopefully a big home ice advantage because these games will mean a lot. We'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. But also, Paige, your first Toros Awards banquet coming up on Monday night. Fans, you can still get your tickets for that as well on our ticket site. We play the Family Feud, or I guess they just call it the Feud for probably copyright reasons. But that'll be set up as well. Players, coaches, staff involved in that as well as fans. A great meal over at the Sleep Inn, and we get to find out who wins all the various Toro awards and the scholarships from the Booster Club. They're, of course, hosting the event. And then the last piece is an award given out by you, the fans. You can jump in our mobile app. You have until noon tomorrow to vote for the fan favorite award winner. So yeah, get out and do that. beyond that, anything else we need to tell people about before we bring our guest in, or should we jump right into it?
Let's just jump right into it.
All right. Fans, welcome in head coach and general manager Cody Campbell. Cody, welcome into Toros All Access.
Yeah, thanks for having me back, Ken.
It's obviously a big weekend, and probably need to start right there. Four games in total coming up with the Austin Bruins. The last 2 home games kick off the series this weekend. Just what's your message to the guys for the weeks ahead?
Well, thankfully we put ourselves in a position coming off of two really big games this past weekend in Aberdeen to. The ball's in our court. We control our own destiny here moving forward, but a little bit of the message has been we only control our own destiny as long as we keep it that way. So we've got to focus on 7:35 on Friday and make sure that moving into Saturday we're still the ball's still in our court and we're still moving forward. And at the end of the day, it's nice to know that. We're in a position we don't have to do a whole bunch of scoreboard watching or get help from someone or anything like that. We take care of our business. We'll be in good shape.
Just one game against them. What makes the matchup so difficult?
Yeah, we played them a lot early in the year. I don't think we've played them since middle of January. So obviously our team, just the makeup of it roster-wise as a whole, has changed a little bit. We also... thinking back to that last time that we played them here at home, we had some guys not feeling very well and playing through a lot of illness, and guys that couldn't play because of how sick they were and an injury in the first part of the year. So I think we're looking forward to being able to play them with a full lineup and pretty much a group that's fairly healthy.
Right now, they would be the first round opponent as well. We're looking at potentially the last 4 of the regular season plus a best-of-5 series against them. That could be 9 consecutive games against the same team. How much does coaching come into play? I imagine you can't just run the same thing for 9 games in a row. You have to adjust a little bit, right, as you take these guys on that many times?
Yeah. Obviously, we're worried about Friday night first and foremost. We do play them 4 times, so there'll be some natural adjustments over the course of that regular season series. And then the biggest thing though is I believe that when we play to our full capabilities, it becomes much more about us than it does about our opponent. And like you said, there'll be the natural adjustments that we have to make on special teams and that kind of stuff. And then in playoffs, to me, the regular season goes out the window, and it's just a completely new vibe, completely new situation that both teams are facing. So, looking at the potential of 9 games straight with them is something that I haven't really thought about a whole lot, because again, we've just got to stay focused on Friday night, moving forward from there.
Yeah, this season obviously feels a lot like last season in that. Team got off to a great start, struggled a little bit in January, February, but now here we are pretty much at the end of it. And again, still control our own destiny. How much does last year, does that parallel, what did you learn from that might be applies to this year or helps with this year?
Yeah, it's such a different team. There are guys from last year's group that can draw on those different experiences that we all had through the end of last season and stuff. But you look at it this year, we rode a high basically until November, and then ended up 8 straight games on the road pretty much, or 9 of 10 I think it was, and hit a little bit of a lull, and then came out of break in really good fashion, which isn't something that happened a year ago. So there's similarities for sure, but the personality of this team is significantly different than what it was last year, and it's great that we have some experience going through these kind of situations and stuff. But overall, I just really like where the group's mindset and head is at as a whole, because they've done a pretty good job of just looking forward to the next day and making sure that we continue to get better here as the season is stretched on.
We have some fans chiming in on Facebook right now. Tiffany Russell says that she is waiting for you to enjoy a cookie, Cody.
I'm sure there's many people waiting for me to enjoy a cookie.
And then we have questions about poster giveaway. The poster giveaways are on Saturday, along with the Pride ice cream giveaway as well.
Looking at the playoff run, guys who were here last year, obviously we missed the playoffs on the last day, but Hunter Longy is a player who's been through a deep playoff run. Some of these other guys have been on, whether it's Steenerson, who just went through the Minnesota State Championship playoffs, right? A lot of guys who have had that playoff experience. Are there guys you're going to look to and lean on to maybe help out guys who haven't played playoff hockey before?
I think the players will decide that on their own. Like you said, that's a big part of the reason why we acquired Colby Amici is he was a overtime goal away from being in the Robertson Cup last year. Our players that were here last year know what these feelings are like, and you mentioned Steenerson went to the state tournament not only this year but last year, went to the finals last year. His team ended up succumbing to Weston Knox's team, who won Minnesota State Championship last year. Chase went deep into the national tournament last year. So not only through some trades and that kind of stuff, but through our recruiting throughout the course of last year is something that we tried to put an emphasis on in terms of making sure that we got players from high-end programs that at the end of the day were competing for something important at the end of their seasons.
You mentioned you're changing, or not necessarily changing, but putting an emphasis on that in recruiting. This time of year, I've seen it personally in the office. You have to juggle that focus on this year's team and achieving this year's goal and building for next year's team. How difficult is that for you and the rest of the staff to be focused on the task at hand and still be out looking to tender players, build a draft board, and all of that ahead of the offseason, which starts, basically a week after the Robertson Cup?
Yeah. To me, it's not difficult. It's part of the level. It's something that at different times things ramp up with recruiting for the future and stuff. And one of those times is now, but as also early November and right at the start of the season. And so that's not something that's a ton different than the normal day-to-day, but our absolute first priority again is Friday at 7:35, and everything else, if we can get to it, we're going to get to it. Make sure that we put the organization and players in the organization in the best spot to be successful for the future, but we got to take care of the business in front of us.
I imagine having new assistant or director of scouting plus longtime assistant general manager Chris Lonke, I imagine more of it leans on those guys this time of year? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I get email or text or whatever from an agent or college coach about a potential future player, and the first thing it goes to is our group chat and send the kids elite prospects over, and then they make the first viewing of them, and then again, like I said, if time permits and it's the right situation, then I'll jump on Instat and get myself familiar with those guys. But adding Justin to the fold along with Lonks obviously has been great, because it just allows us to cover so much more ground.
Yeah. What have you been so proud of with your coaching career so far here in Minot?
I don't reflect on that kind of stuff too often, because there's obviously a task and a goal that we have set forth with this team and this individual group. But I would have to say just the number of guys that we've helped move on to college hockey, whether it's Division I or Division III. You know, one of the things that I find the most joy and most pride in is when, you know, Nico Hannison gets off the phone and gives you a hug because he got a scholarship offer, or getting that phone call and being able to see Char at main camp right after he committed to CC last summer, and Cartman last year, and Longy, and just all the guys that have come through here and have ultimately achieved that goal of going on to play college hockey. Like I said, whether it's Division I or Division III, I think of Jack Brown last year, who we traded for and comes here, gets a great opportunity at Bethel, and he had a huge freshman year for him this year. So seeing those guys not only move on, but move on and have success is probably what I'm most proud of.
Yeah. Flat Guy says that the word on the street is that there will be more train horns this weekend.
We will take as loud as it can get, make it as difficult of a building to play in as possible.
How much does the energy in the Mesa, obviously you've been in the division now for 2 years, you've been around, it's a totally different environment in Minot than it is in a lot of places in the division. How much does that come into play? Does it make it hard on the other teams?
You said division. I will go as far as to say in all of junior hockey in the U.S., it's something that you can actually feel when there's 2,000 people in there, and you could see the energy building, not only in the building but on the bench and within how we're playing. It is an advantage, and I definitely think it's something that the guys feed off of for sure. You look at just different games where we've had huge crowds this year. Black Friday, we came out and rolled pretty well. It just all the various different nights where we've packed them into the Mesa. We've had pretty good outcomes because, like I said, I think the guys feel that and they draw off of it and then harness it positively to go out and be successful when they're out.
I think it was Chase LaPinta who said that Black Friday game where we debuted the red jerseys. He told me after the game, he's like, we won that game in intros when we came out and the place was rocking. It's amazing to me how different it is here. Just like you said, getting around. I've been through most of the Midwest teams. I've been up to Alaska. There's just nothing like the Mesa when it's full.
No, and I can speak for. There's obviously some good environments in the USHL and that kind of stuff as well. But I would put our building and our fans on a packed night up against any other atmosphere in junior hockey in this country for sure.
Well, I think that's a good spot to wrap up, and hopefully we'll have that great atmosphere. Paige, you have anything else?
Not that I can think of. We'll see everybody this weekend.
So yeah, Friday and Saturday night, Toros versus the Austin Bruins. Battle with the first place team in the division, a potential playoff preview as well, and your last chance to use flex tickets, so bring those down to the rink. Like I said, we're running low for Friday already. Still seats available for Saturday, but come on down to the Pepsi Rink in Mesa Arena and make it as hard of a place to play in as possible.
Wow.